Okay, so you would say hit a bunch of different body types. Don't change your nutrition too much. What other tips would you give to people? Because we have a bunch of dudes listening to this that are like, yo, I don't want to get fat as hell during this time. What other tips would you give? Like, are you on a program right now? Like, all right, I'm waking up every day, 10 a.m., filming my workout, walking around the house.
So I wouldn't necessarily say you have to separate by muscle groups. What I'm saying is you have to make sure that you are hitting every muscle group. And I said that because if you're just doing push-ups and pull-ups, you're neglecting so many other elements of your body. That's why I mentioned that. But realistically, the biggest tip I would give to people is you need to have a program that you're able to actually track progression. If you're just going in and doing random stuff because you have no idea what to do, that may help you stay relatively in shape, but it's not going to help you progress. So there's a huge difference in that element. I think the average person is going to stay relatively similar if this only lasts a couple weeks. If it lasts a long time and no one has any sense of progression when they're working at home, they are going to have a very hard time building or even maintaining their gains, because progression is the only way your body is not going to adapt to your programming. I'm Mike Rosa, and this is my Ruby Hour.
Oh God, what's going on? Where am I going? Dad?
Yes, my son. I am Deuce, the deer god.
I'm so confused. Who am I?
Derek. Your true name is Dercules. Dercules.
Wait, what?
Yes. You are Dercules, the god of the forest. Season 5. Hosted by your favorite podcast host, Big Bochi. You already know the deal, mother. What's up? Now we're live. Wait, so real quick, can you elaborate just before we get into everything about your diet right now? Or have you been able to be strict about it, or has it been tougher?
For me, it's always tougher to stay on track with my diet when I'm not going to the gym. I don't know why, but it's always been like that. But I am counting my calories still. Macros, not as well as I should be.
Well, are you one of those dudes that, like, if you're near the kitchen, you feel like, oh shit, I'm like a little hungry. I kind of want to just go snag a snack.
I'm one of those dudes who, if I sit in the same place for too long, I start thinking about food, and that's the only thing I can think about.
Really, dude? I'm like the opposite. I think about food when I'm moving. I guess when you're driving, do you get mad hungry?
No, it's literally when I'm only sitting down working the same space for a long time.
I feel you. So, real quick before we move on, can you give a quick synopsis of who you are and what you do?
Mike Rosa, I run Anabolic Aliens. Website, app, YouTube, social medias, fitness stuff right from home.
And Mike, for anybody that's going to be tuning in, this whole pandemic is terrible. And I started really feeling the effects of it, just like, damn, the excitement's gone. Like, this kind of sucks now. But Mike is thriving because his business is totally built around doing everything at home anyway. So can you kind of just give a quick testament as to what's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've
It's
always
nuts, dude. It's crazy.
It's freaking crazy. I mean, the first thing happened with a very bad news when the Arnold canceled and completely screwed me over. And then a couple weeks later, when everything starts getting shut down and people literally can't go to the gym, my entire YouTube channel is blown up. I mean, when I first got a lot of popularity, like a couple of videos going viral, I'm getting significantly more views right now than I ever have in the history of my channel. Like, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of more views a day. And then my app exit price, like the monetary, so premium downloads and free downloads are up over 300% each day and climbing each day. And my website traffic is up over like 20,000 visitors a month. It's insane.
Dude, it's actually nuts. How long? This is something we talked about like right when we had met. You were known as the home workout guy, and you haven't stopped since then, right? Like, you've been generating new home workouts for the past year, 2 years.
I just try to cover as much niches as possible. So whether it's at home or equipment specific that you can do at home, that's what people are taking advantage of. It's not even just my body weight. It's the barbell only, the resistance band only, the kettlebell only.
And in terms of some of these niches, what's been the biggest trend in terms of views? What are most people doing?
The dumbbell workouts. just
See, I
because
don't
they
have a set of dumbbells at home. And that's why I'm surprised. I'm surprised people aren't just doing body weight only, but I guess like the average consumer does have tons of dumbbells.
depends where you are in the world. So actually in India, which is one of my big followings, they're using dumbbells the most. In the States, resistance bands are actually the highest used equipment option. And then other areas, mostly body weight.
Oh, so that's for the app.
The app, I mean, we're not really tracking exactly what people are generating, but we're tracking how many people are coming in, and which is insane because the app works off the functionality of those specific equipment YouTube videos.
Isn't it so wild that you and I were talking like 3 weeks ago, and I was like so devastated for you. I was just like, I remember I was headed to the Hyatt and I'd heard the Arnold was canceled. I was just like, oh my God, dude. Because I knew how much you had fucking worked for it. And then it's crazy now, like another terrible thing happens in the world, but it just like spins into your benefit.
Dude, listen to this. All that money I lost for the Arnold, I've made back in this last week.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
So are you right now, you're doing a new video every day?
Releasing a video every day, and Instagram every day, TikTok every day, Twitter every day, LinkedIn every day, Facebook every day. All it's generated around the home market.
What's your caffeine intake looking like right now?
About 1,000 milligrams a day.
Oh God! Holy shit! And has the team? Did you like tell the team like, yo, now's the time we gotta attack?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going full speed with my stuff and then delegate their tasks so they can get after it themselves. Everyone is, I mean, the whole business itself is skyrocketing right now. So every part is important.
And so for anybody at home, obviously you're incentivizing them to, and I would, no bullshit. Like Mike knows I've sent like, let me move this right here. I've sent you like 4 or 5 Snapchats of people doing your workouts and using the app. Isn't that wild?
So
people
cool,
had never
man.
done it before, bro.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people hit me up. They're like, yo, like I got Sammy Spielberg checking out your workouts.
Let's go.
If someone at home, let's say they just don't want to lose their gains, what would you have them do right now? Would you have them just do like a full body workout every single day or a new muscle group every day?
I don't think there's any reason that your training should necessarily change from how it is at the gym. You just have to adapt the equipment you use and figure out a new progressive model. And that's exactly what my 30-day series on YouTube are doing so well, because it brings you day 1 through day 30 along progressive overload. Realistically, you can get great gains from home, even if you're just using body weight. You just have to figure out how to make your body actually have progressive overload so it doesn't adapt. So you still get that mechanical tension, that metabolic stress, and the muscle breakdown.
You got to figure out your rep range, right?
Not necessarily a rep range. You got to figure out how to make your muscles feel like the tension that you have to create now since you're at home.
Well, what I've been doing is I've been on my real military shit, and I've been doing like, all right, I'm going to do a 300 push-up, 100 pull-up circuit. And then I've just been going to the park and banging it out. Michael, I'm going to wipe you in this lean out contest. I am going to wipe you. It is getting gross.
You ain't getting muscle gain from what you're doing there, though.
I'm maintaining, though.
We'll see.
So in terms of diet, do you think people who want to retain their gains, I heard that maybe they should try to be in a light surplus in a time like this?
Depends how they're lifting. If they're not lifting nearly as hard or intense, then I would not recommend that, because they're going to accumulate a lot more fat than they normally would. I would recommend maintenance if you're trying to keep your gains and keep up the intensity with your workouts, because they're probably not going to be as intense as a normal gym goers.
Yeah, but is that how it works? Like maybe if you eat in surplus, you'll lose your gains a little less severely?
I'd rather lose a little bit of size versus accumulate fat.
Yeah, that's a fact. So in terms of like business growth, is this window like have you totally back on track to your goals this year? Obviously the Arnold was the big thing, but how have you adjusted like your long-term plan because of what's going on? Because we don't know how long this is going to last, dude.
It's funny because This really hasn't changed anything at all for me business wise. If anything, it's only pushed everything forward like exponentially. So there's really no game plan changes other than work harder and get more home content out there for me.
And have you been driving from your crib to your parents' crib to film?
It's the only other place I go, and I try to go as little as possible, but I also help them with groceries and stuff so they don't have to go out and get them themselves.
Yeah, do you get worried about your parents catching it?
Yes, but that's why I literally have been not seeing any single person other than them and myself and my
And your
roommates.
roommates?
Yeah.
And are you and your roommates keeping the 6 feet in the crib?
Everyone's being smart on my side. The other side of the house, not so much, but our side's being smart.
Oh, what are they having parties? The other apartment?
Dude, mad people are still like having day drinks, taking it as a chance to party. I'm like, you guys are idiots, and this is why it's spreading.
Dude, it's really like, have you been out and about, like going to the store? Have you seen people wearing masks and stuff like that?
Yes, but what actually, dude, surprises me the most is I'm seeing more 10 to 13-year-olds out and about just walking around than I ever have before. Like that
Really?
demographic that never left their house is now leaving their house to be oppositional because they're being told they can't. It's crazy.
Well, dude, I went on a hike this morning through the woods, and there was this little spot where there's this little ropes course in the woods, and there were all these just like empty cigarette boxes, and I was like, damn, these kids are up to no good, man.
Jesus.
I mean, imagine what me and you would do right now if we were in seventh, eighth grade. Like, we would be like, oh my God, we're bored.
Miserable.
Dude, imagine if you didn't have your own business right now. Like, what would you do with yourself?
I don't know. I don't really play video games, so I'd be bored as fuck.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. Um, okay, so you would say hit a bunch of different body types. Don't change your nutrition too much. What other tips would you give to people? Because we have a bunch of dudes listening to this that are like, yo, I don't want to get fat as hell during this time. What other tips would you give? Like, are you on a program right now? Like, all right, I'm waking up every day, 10 a.m., filming my workout, walking around the house.
So I wouldn't necessarily say you have to separate by muscle groups. What I'm saying is you have to make sure that you are hitting every muscle group. And I said that because if you're just doing push-ups and pull-ups, you're neglecting so many other elements of your body. That's why I mentioned that. But realistically, the biggest tip I would give to people is you need to have a program that you're able to actually track progression. If you're just going in and doing random stuff because you have no idea what to do, that may help you stay relatively in shape, but it's not going to help you progress. So there's a huge difference in that element. I think the average person is going to stay relatively similar if this only lasts a couple weeks. If it lasts a long time and no one has any sense of progression when they're working at home, they are going to have a very hard time building or even maintaining their gains because progression is the only way your body is not going to adapt to your programming.
I'm going to drop a bomb for you right now that will help so much. Dude, how much caffeine are you on right now? Bro, if this is going to be a long-term thing, you need to go start getting your own dumbbells made. Like Anabolic Aliens dumbbells. Because so many people would buy those if they're following your program. Like, oh, I don't have dumbbells at home.
Maybe. I was thinking.
Dude, like Arnie the alien right on the butt of the thing.
Think about what you're saying, though. Who the fuck is going to manufacture that right now? No one's working. That's not an essential business.
Dude, you got to hustle through the recession, right? Think about it.
It's illegal. You literally, I don't know how that would be made realistically because there's so many things, dude. A lot of things, if they break right now, you're not getting them fixed.
I know, bro. Do you know what happened to me? I sprayed my computer with Lysol and it leaked into the back of the monitor like 2 days ago because I didn't wipe it off like an idiot. Bro, and so I come back and my computer looks like the Matrix. It's like glitching out. I'm like, what the fuck? And I call Apple. They're like, yeah, we're closed down for 4 days. So I just literally 1 hour later had to go buy a new laptop.
Dude, it's the only thing you can do. Like my buddy's car broke down. There was no one there to help him. He couldn't get his car serviced.
Dude, I did a Zoom podcast with the Boston Trucker yesterday. Imagine if truckers were to go on strike right now. Oh,
That'd be insane. It's wild what they're considering essential businesses too. Like one of my roommates is a Red Bull driver. He's still being forced to work as an essential employee.
is he?
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Why?
Apparently, energy drinks are essential. Liquor stores are still open. Dispensaries
Yeah,
are still
that makes no
open.
sense.
Well, I read about that. Do you know why they take the liquor store still open? Because
Why?
alcoholism is considered like a actual disease. So if you just cut off people from alcohol, there could be a lot more hospitalizations, taking away people getting cured for corona. That's so they can't just cut people dry from booze.
Isn't that wild? Oh my God.
Yeah, man,
Are,
it's great.
have you met anybody who has it yet? Or like, do you know anyone who has the virus?
No, do you?
I know someone who knows someone who has it, and they were just like, dude, it feels like you just drink a sand smoothie.
That's gross.
It's
I was
terrible.
reading. You know how diseases are parabolas, so they go like this and then back down.
Yeah.
A lot of the scientists are saying on the way up, we're only about 10% right now.
Well, dude, I had those research scientists on the podcast. They said the same thing.
That actually?
Yeah, I think I probably told you that. I mean, I'm sure we're at like 13% now because that was like a week ago, but I don't know, man. It's crazy. You know what's really interesting? I was talking with my friends about this. A lot of people right now are like, dude, I feel so like alone and bored and like I can't go out to the bar, but I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for like a year and a half straight.
Dude, I don't get it. This is the
Like
time
your day to day
people-
hasn't really changed, right? Except
Not
not
in
going to the
the
gym.
Literally. This is the time, dude. All these people who are complaining about not having the time to be able to do their own thing. This is the time to freaking do it. You have all the time in the world.
I know. Do you feel like more in tune with learning about global markets and economics now? Like, I mean, I never knew anything really about it beforehand, but now I'm kind of starting to understand how this all works.
What do you mean?
I mean, how the markets crashed and the economy is screwed.
I mean, it depends. For my industry, fitness is skyrocketing right now. Especially one of the biggest industry increases is home fitness equipment. So, I mean, it's crazy, man.
But gyms are not skyrocketing.
Gyms itself, the physical locations, a lot of them are closing down around the country.
Like the non-syndicated franchise joints, like the mom and pop type spots.
Even some commercial ones. I know multiple gym owners who are like, we might have to close down some locations because they have to lay off their employees. They can't pay them.
Dude, that's wild. And that's like really sad.
I have multiple friends who are working for corporations who are getting paid, they're not getting paid time off. Blows my mind.
They got furloughed.
They're being asked to file for unemployment.
Yeah, for like 6-7 weeks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible, dude. It's interesting. I wonder how things will change after all this. What do you think?
I think it's going to help people start treating the environment and themselves a little better. But other than that, I don't know. It's really unpredictable at this point.
Can I ask you a question? I notice you and I get so caught up in like the day to day and like getting things done and like growth and progress. When this happened, did you ever have a moment where you're like, damn, there's certain things I care about that don't actually matter that much?
No.
Well, dude, I mean, I sometimes feel like I'm so driven on negativity that and like proving people wrong, and I realize I'm like, damn, that really does not matter that much. Do you ever feel that way?
I think I'm actually very opposite. I don't let negativity in my life anymore. The biggest change I've made was saying, if you're negative, get the fuck out.
Dude, we can't throw any more parties together for the time being.
Anything together for the time being.
I know, it's pretty wild. So are most of your friends locked in Boston?
I mean, all over the place, wherever they live, people are all over. But everyone's locked wherever they are.
In terms of a little hashtag value, can you tell everyone where to find your YouTube and your app?
Yeah, hashtag value, YouTube, Anabolic Aliens, and app Exerprise free in the App and Play Store.
Okay, sweet. And is the Arnold going to be rescheduled?
I'm very happy with the Arnold. They actually reached back out finally. So they sued the state. And I just got word the other day that so they don't want to refund everyone, obviously, because they spend that money. But they actually offered a refund Or they offered, this is what I took. They offered a free booth next year, and then if I want to upgrade, a huge discount, and they're also going to give back a quarter of the money as like a gift, so they don't have to give back the whole thing. So I'm getting a quarter of my money back. I'm getting a booth next year at the Arnold for free, and if I want to upgrade booth, I get a huge discount. That was a win for me. I was happy with that.
Dude, it's interesting how all these like large businesses have to adapt and make these huge moves. It's much easier to be on a level like yours and ours where we can make something happen really quick. All these other businesses have these huge systems that have to like systematically change over time. It's terrible.
I can't imagine having to figure out what to do with 100 employees. I'm struggling with just figuring out how to handle 5.
No, but one thing I realized though is like right now people want a job more than ever, so they don't literally lose their minds of boredom.
Yeah, but also too, this is probably the worst. If you have a job that is secure, it's probably one of the worst times to switch jobs. Meaning like a side job, whatever, but if you switch jobs, it's really unpredictable of how that could end up.
I know, that's a fact. Hey, anyway, I know you got to run, and I got another podcast in like 30 minutes, so we just ran a little micro one. How'd that one feel?
That was chill.
We'll have enough for a couple clips to send out. Is there anything else you want to talk about or get off your chest?
Let's just quickly go over you want to provide a little more value on the workout aspect.
Yeah. Why don't we do that? That's a good idea. All right. So for a 6-foot dude who's got a corporate job, he's got to work from home for the next like 5-6 weeks. He doesn't want to lose his gains and he wants to eat right. What do you have him doing?
So a 6-foot dude, he wants to keep his gains, and how does he wants to lose weight, gain weight, but what does he want to do exactly?
He wants to maintain.
So I'd have him eat relatively close to maintenance, probably do a little caloric cycling. I'd actually take your style a little bit into my style. So I'd start off in like a slight caloric surplus, so a little above maintenance, and then cycle slowly to a slow deficit rate below maintenance, and then recycle that to make sure the metabolism keeps moving. And that way you actually can control maintenance because you're eating above your maintenance, then you're eating a little below your maintenance, and there's also time periods you'll be eating at maintenance. So I'd recommend a slight caloric cycling method around your maintenance and make sure it starts above, ends below, and then cycles back up above, so you're adjusting. Your metabolism doesn't adapt. And then for workout programs, you just need to have a form of progression. That's the most important thing. And let me give you actually some tips for if you are only training at home with body weight, how you can actually add resistance. So I'll give you a push-up, for example. A standard push-up, ways you can add resistance to make a push-up feel heavier. Static holds. You hold that push-up at the contraction point, so like a 90-degree arm bend, and hold as long as you can. Or you do a rep, hold it for 5 seconds, come up, and do another rep. There's so many ways you can add tension with static holds. Another way is explosive reps. So now you're actually exploding off the ground. So you come down for a push-up, and you push your hands coming off the ground and then back into the push-up. So you have your static holds, you have your explosion, and then there's also a method, tempo training. So now you're doing the push-up. When you come down, you count 1, 2, 3, hold 1, 2, 3, then back up 1, 2, 3. That'd be an example of a 3-3-3 tempo, and that's one of the best ways you can actually improve your mind-muscle connection and work on getting your muscles to fire more optimally, which a lot of people don't do in gym training. Can actually result you to actually get more gains at home because you're actually really getting that mind-muscle connection related to your muscles properly firing.
Well, what do you have to say to people who are totally unmotivated to work out at the crib right now?
They won't be unmotivated after a week when they ain't doing shit. It catches up quick, especially if you're used to going to the gym. But realistically, I think the way you have to go about it is you start off small. Meaning that's why I do with my 30-day challenges. The first week of workouts is like 7 minutes per muscle group, and then it increases over the time. You need to find a way that you're going to be able to stay motivated and have fun with it at home, even if it's something that you're completely not used to.
I am not a fitness expert at all, but one thing I will tell you is I realized how bored I got of my lifting routine, and it's actually been nice switching it up and like doing other workouts.
Dude, I always make spot. I go to the gym to get out of the same place. I don't even necessarily go to the gym to use weights.
You go to the gym. You go to the gym because that's like your only contact with society, bro.
Literally. But like, it's just like, imagine actually feeling your muscles work for the first time because you're forcing yourself to do bodyweight movements, forcing yourself to feel resistance. That could be game changing for people who have never properly felt their muscles before at the gym.
Do you remember your first pump? Do you remember what it was like? Was it like getting high for the first time for you?
Right in the womb, dude. Oh, that'll good for it.
Do you remember the first time you lifted?
I remember the first time I tried to lift freshman in high school, and I dropped 135 on my freaking chest on a barbell. I couldn't even do it. Couldn't even do 135, dude.
How much did you weigh?
Like 150.
So, were you like? Have you always been like kind of wide and built, or were you like stringy at the time?
I've always been muscular. I've always had broad shoulders, but I was more of the chub side.
And you were just mad weak, like early high school?
I never lifted before.
Dude, I honestly don't think I hit 135 until I was like 17. I was so weak.
I say the same because I didn't actually get into lifting until senior year of high school, so I was 17.
But you were doing like baseball lifts and stuff though, right?
Not weighted. Baseball lifts was like mobility stuff.
Yeah, I know. Sid always had the weirdest workouts. They would have him like swim in the swimming pool and like do like these weird like band exercises and stuff.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, you're working on your mobility and stuff.
Have you ever gotten the suction cup therapy?
No, I want to try it though.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you haven't ever done like a cryo tank or anything like that.
Nah.
You're just a meathead, dude.
Things up and put them down.
Okay, another question. So, let's say this lasts for about 3 to 4 months, right? Can people still achieve a good physique with home workouts in 3 to 4 months of work?
With a program, yes. With sporadic random workouts, no.
Let's say I want to go intense, like do like 3 intense body workouts weekly, and then also maintain like a high level of activity like walking, running on the other days. Will that be enough?
I think you can definitely maintain muscle mass that way. You may even gain some depending on how connected you are with your mind muscle connection. But at the end of the day, I think the average person would maintain with that style and really just focus on improving their overall physique versus specific muscle focuses.
So what do you want? What are your personal physique goals going into the summer?
I think this is going to help me shred. As long as I can stay on point with my diet, it's forcing me to do a lot more body weight movements, which for me has always been actually more challenging than weights because you have to fight the resistance and your body, I just feel like works in a completely different way. And I always sweat more doing body weight than I do with weights.
And are you still drinking pre-workout for the body weight workouts?
No supplements set right now.
You quit the fat burner.
I wasn't taking that anyway because of you.
Yeah, all right.
And there's no
subs from the crib at all?
I mean, if I feel like I need some protein, I'll have one before bed, but that's at the most.
What, just a whey protein shake?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're drinking like coffee and caffeine before the workout.
I drink those all day long.
What did you do today? Have you been going to Starbucks? You've been doing a Keurig at the crib?
Nah, I got I stacked up on some 3D energy drinks before.
God.
And I got a whole thing of coffee, like 50 pods, just to make sure I last the week.
Dude, I'm surprised you haven't reached out and tried to do a partnership with Bang.
I did it in the past. They only want hot chicks who are in thongs.
Yeah, that makes sense. They have an interesting strategy. Okay, so we got diet from the crib, we got workout from the crib. What could people do for cardio right now?
Hit Tabata. Body weight cardio right from home is my favorite way to burn fat. That's the fastest way people will burn fat. But if they want to just have good lungs, their stamina and stuff, I'd recommend honestly going for a run.
Dude, running is terrible. But I do anticipate the weather is going to probably get pretty nice coming up.
Even though it snowed yesterday, but yeah.
It snowed a lot.
Crazy.
Okay. So with that being said, this is your 5th episode. We did Emerald Hour last time. Well, I guess we'll call this your Ruby Hour.
Ruby? So when does it end? How many freaking diamond things are there?
I mean, dude, there's like a gazillion gems, so we'll have to think about it. Hey, is there anything that you or your parents need? I still got my whip.
I do too. I'm good, bro. Thank you, though.
Okay, cool. All right. So, hey, I'm Mike Rosa. This is my emerald, or no, this is my ruby hour. Hey, I'm Mike Rosa. That was my ruby hour.
Hey, I'm Mike Rosa, and this is my Ruby Hour. Hey, I'm Mike Rosa, and that was my Ruby Hour.